Hey, welcome to World Alert Updates. Please subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Breaking news. Riyadh backs Manila in sea dispute. Saudi warships to join Philippine naval exercises. China warns against external interference. These headlines sent shockwaves through diplomatic circles from Washington to Beijing. In a move that defied decades of tradition, Saudi Arabia, the Middle East titan, officially declared support for the Philippines in its tense maritime standoff with China. At the Philippine Naval Headquarters, the mood shifted from anxious to electrified as a high-level Saudi military delegation arrived, poring over nautical charts with Filipino officers. Joint patrols, intelligence sharing and military hardware support were suddenly on the table. For Filipino sailors long outmatched by Chinese ships, this was a monumental shift. The announcement from Riyadh spoke of upholding international law and freedom of navigation, a direct challenge to Beijing's sweeping claims. For years, the Philippines felt isolated, caught between a distant U.S. ally and the looming shadow of China. Now, Saudi Arabia, known for oil wealth and religious leadership, was stepping onto a new stage, ready to change the rules. Why would Saudi Arabia risk antagonizing China, its largest trading partner? The move was audacious, a clear signal that the kingdom is charting a new, ambitious course under Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. This alliance with the Philippines is the first, and perhaps most startling proof of that new ambition. The South China Sea is one of the world's most critical economic arteries and a dangerous geopolitical flashpoint. 1/3 of global shipping passes through its lanes, carrying trillions in trade. Beneath its waves lie vast reserves of oil and gas. For countries like the Philippines, control of these waters is a matter of survival and pride. China, however, claims nearly the entire sea with its controversial 9-dash line, encroaching deep into its neighbors' exclusive zones. To enforce this, China uses its Coast Guard and maritime militia to harass and block Filipino fishermen and naval vessels, swarming reefs and building militarized islands. Filipino crews face daily intimidation, water cannons, dangerous maneuvers and relentless pressure. In 2016, an international tribunal ruled overwhelmingly for the Philippines, invalidating China's claims. Beijing rejected the decision and doubled down, daring the world to challenge its control. The Philippines is left fighting a David and Goliath battle, where international law has so far proven a paper shield against China's steel. This is the tense, unequal struggle that Saudi Arabia is now stepping into. Saudi Arabia's decision to back the Philippines is a game-changer, unexpected and bold. For decades, Saudi foreign policy was conservative, focused on oil, regional stability, and countering Iran. Siding with a smaller nation against Beijing would have been unthinkable just years ago. This move shatters that paradigm, giving the Philippines strong diplomatic backing from a major non-Western power. Until now, Manila's main supporter was the U.S., but Saudi Arabia's entry demolishes the narrative that this is just a U.S.-China proxy war. It signals that support for the Philippines is a global issue, rooted in international law. Riyadh's move sends a message to other middle powers. It's possible to stand up to Beijing without relying solely on the US. This could embolden more nations to join a coalition for a rules-based order. For Filipinos, the alliance brings hope and validation after years of feeling outmatched and isolated. Seeing the Saudi flag alongside their own is a morale boost, strengthening national resolve. The psychological lift is as important as any military or economic aid. Saudi Arabia's support shifts the dynamic from a simple US-China rivalry to a more complex, multipolar pushback. The world is watching as new alliances reshape the balance of power in Asia. Why is Saudi Arabia making this bold move now? The answer lies in its own transformation. For generations, Saudi Arabia's identity was defined by oil, but under Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the kingdom is aggressively pursuing a new global role. It wants to be more than a gas station. It aims to be a major power in politics, finance, technology, and culture. By intervening in the South China Sea, Riyadh is announcing its arrival as a strategic actor with interests far beyond the Gulf. This is about building a reputation as a reliable, powerful partner worldwide. The move is also a hedge against a post-oil future. As the world transitions away from fossil fuels, Saudi Arabia is building new pillars of influence. Strategic alliances with countries like the Philippines, investments in global infrastructure, and taking stands on international issues are all part of this diversification. Riyadh is also positioning itself as a leader for the global south, offering an alternative to the US-China rivalry. By supporting the Philippines, Saudi Arabia is burnishing its credentials as a champion for the sovereignty and rights of smaller states. This resonates across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. The kingdom is determined to remain relevant and influential in a rapidly changing world. At the heart of Saudi Arabia's new strategy is Vision 2030, a blueprint to diversify its economy away from oil. This plan requires massive foreign investment and new, stable markets for Saudi goods and services. The Philippines, with its fast-growing economy and young population, is a key partner. By forging a strategic partnership, Riyadh is laying the groundwork for deeper economic integration. Saudi companies building infrastructure in the Philippines, Filipino firms finding opportunities in Saudi Arabia. The alliance also secures vital trade routes. The South China Sea is crucial for energy supplies and global logistics. Chinese dominance here would threaten Saudi economic ambitions. Supporting the Philippines is an investment in regional stability and Saudi Arabia's own prosperity. Diversifying trade relationships with ASEAN economies, led by the Philippines, builds a more resilient future. This partnership is as much about smart business as it is about politics. Beyond geopolitics, a powerful human connection binds Saudi Arabia and the Philippines. Millions of Filipinos have worked in the kingdom, sending home billions in remittances and becoming an integral part of Saudi society. This relationship has created deep goodwill and mutual understanding. Many Saudis have grown up with Filipino caregivers or worked alongside Filipino colleagues, fostering trust that transcends formal diplomacy. When Riyadh supports Manila, it resonates with ordinary Saudis, who have personal ties to the Filipino community. For the Philippines, the welfare of nearly 1 million citizens in Saudi Arabia is a top priority. The new alliance elevates cooperation on labor issues, ensuring protection and support for Filipino workers. The Filipino diaspora gives the Philippines unique soft power within the kingdom, a strategic asset in a monarchy where personal relationships matter. This human bridge makes the alliance more resilient and meaningful than one based solely on geopolitics. Saudi Arabia's entry into the South China Sea dispute transforms the Philippines' diplomatic options. For years, Manila balanced between the US and China, limiting its autonomy. The partnership with Riyadh introduces a third major player, giving the Philippines more flexibility and leverage. Manila can now negotiate with Washington and Beijing from a position of greater strength, no longer solely dependent on either. Aggressive actions by China now risk alienating not just the West, but also influential leaders in the Islamic world. This multi-front pressure makes it costlier for Beijing to continue its tactics. The Philippines is building a web of partnerships with the US, Saudi Arabia, Japan, Australia, and India to maximize security and economic opportunities. The goal: a mature, independent foreign policy that puts Philippine interests first. The Saudi-Philippine alliance is also shaped by Middle Eastern rivalries. Saudi Arabia is competing with Iran, the UAE, and Qatar for influence and leadership in the Islamic world. By allying with the Philippines, Riyadh outmaneuvers its rivals and enhances its prestige in Asia. This move may prompt other Gulf states to strengthen ties with Manila, benefiting the Philippines. There's a religious dimension too. The Philippines has a significant Muslim minority in Mindanao. Saudi Arabia can play a constructive role in promoting peace and development there, countering extremism with investment and cooperation. This engagement strengthens Saudi Arabia's claim to Islamic leadership and helps stabilize a region of concern for the Philippines. The relationship now includes shared goals of peace-building and human development. The Saudi-Philippine alliance is built on a convergence of long-term interests. For the Philippines, it boosts security in the West Philippine Sea and diversifies foreign policy, reducing reliance on the US. For Saudi Arabia, it's about food security, investing in Philippine agriculture to ensure stable supplies as global risks rise. The partnership is symbiotic. The Philippines gains capital and technology. Saudi Arabia secures food sources. This practical foundation grounds the alliance in the fundamental needs of both nations. It's more than a temporary maneuver. It's a visionary model for international cooperation. Two very different nations are finding common ground to address security and economic challenges. By standing together, Manila and Riyadh are reshaping their destinies and sending a message. In a turbulent world, cooperation and respect for international law are the surest path to stability and prosperity. The world is watching as this formidable partnership takes shape. The future of Asia's most dangerous waters may never be the same.